we've just witnessed UFC 317, one of the most highly anticipated fights of the year. Held as part of International Fight Week, the main event has come to a close. And the result was absolutely brutal. Ilia Topuria defeated Charles Oliveira in just one round. This was shocking considering no one has ever finished Charles in such a fashion. So we definitely need to break down this Topuria versus Oliveira matchup in depth. But before we dive into the analysis, we'd like to remind you that this channel is dedicated to bringing you the most exciting fight breakdowns and combat, sports content. If you're enjoying what we do, please support us by liking the video and subscribing. Thank you.
Perfect.
Leading into this fight, many believed that one of these two warriors would meet a decisive end. Both are known for their explosive and thrilling styles. Ilia Topuria, moving up from featherweight to lightweight, brought serious momentum with him, and many predicted a quick finish, regardless of the outcome. From the very start of the round, the fight was intense. Charles Oliveira opened up with a variety of kicks and tried mixing up his strategy. He landed a few solid shots on Ilia early, but Ilia quickly responded with sharp counters, pressuring Charles and testing his reactions. Both fighters quickly engaged in a rapid-fire exchange with little pause. One of the biggest questions before the fight was, could Charles impose his strengths clinching, takedowns, and grappling to disrupt Ilia's rhythm? Many believed that if the fight stayed standing, Ilia's power advantage would be the deciding factor. We know that Charles has had issues with leg injuries in past fights. While he rarely gets knocked out, he's been dropped and forced to survive many times. In this bout, there were moments of groundwork from both fighters. Charles nearly caught Ilia in a heel hook, but Ilia managed to escape. Once the fight returned to the feet, everything changed. In mere seconds, it was over. Many questioned how Ilia would perform at lightweight, especially against someone like Charles Oliveira, a large lightweight, who has struggled to even make weight in the past, once losing his title due to a weigh-in miss. But none of that mattered now. Ilia Topuria proved he's the new face of the UFC. Ilia had even declared beforehand that he would finish Oliveira in the first round, something that sounded impossible, but he did it. Charles was dropped by a combination, a jab to the body, a jab to the head, then a crisp right hook, the very same strike Ilia used to drop Alexander Volkanovski. A left hook followed as Charles collapsed, capped off with one final shot on the canvas. Ilia Topuria is clearly operating on a different level than most UFC fighters. Personally, I believe this victory puts him in the conversation for the #1 pound-for-pound spot. In under a year and a half, he's taken out Volkanovski, Max Holloway, and now Charles Oliveira. That's one of the most impressive runs in UFC history. His confidence is unmatched. He even celebrated the win before stepping into the arena. He knew exactly what would happen and executed his plan flawlessly. That kind of clarity and self-belief is incredibly rare. That said, sympathy is due for Charles Oliveira. He's one of the most entertaining fighters in UFC history, the record holder for most finishes, and known for his grit and refusal to quit. It's tough to see him taken out so brutally, especially at 35 years old. This may have been his final chance to reclaim the title. Despite early struggles in his career, Oliveira rose to become one of the greatest lightweights ever. But now, he faces a new era and a fighting style that may simply be too much to overcome. Moving forward, there are still plenty of exciting matchups for Charles, but his chances of becoming champion again seem slim. Meanwhile, Ilia Topuria is looking at a bright future. He's now a rising star in the UFC, and it will be fascinating to see how his body fully adjusts to the lightweight division. In some wrestling exchanges, it was clear that Charles' strength still posed problems for Ilia, a sign that physical adaptation is still underway. But in striking, Ilia remains a massive threat. A potential matchup between Ilia and Paddy Pimblett is currently being considered. These two have a heated history stemming from a press conference clash, where things escalated into trash talk and shoving. That fight would be massive, especially with Paddy riding a win streak and having immense fan popularity. Still, other contenders like Arman Tsarukyan or Justin Gaethje are also in the mix. UFC clearly has options. Given Oliveira's track record surviving powerhouses like Gaethje, Poirier, Chandler, and even Islam Makhachev, the fact that he was taken out by Ilia underscores just how different Topuria's power and precision really are. His punches change everything. He knocked out Max Holloway, something no one has ever done. And now, he's dismantled Charles Oliveira in similar fashion. Even after moving up to lightweight, Topuria has retained his knockout power. Beyond his fighting abilities, Ilia brings star power. He's outspoken, charismatic, and has a strong personal brand. He even hosted his own press conference, proof he understands the importance of the show outside the cage. If he continues this momentum and UFC builds the right matchups, Ilia could very well become the new face of the organization. While Dana White doesn't seem eager to book him against Paddy Pimblett, the UFC might be aiming for something bigger like a title eliminator against Gaethje or Sarukyan. But one thing is clear, with Ilia now at the top of the division, it's hard to see Charles Oliveira ever becoming champion again. Many hoped he'd get a belt back if Islam Makhachev exited the scene, but the opposite happened. This may be the end of Oliveira's title run, but that doesn't diminish his legacy. He's still one of the greatest fighters the lightweight division has ever seen, and he's had a legendary career. Now a new era has begun. Ilia Topuria has delivered an incredible performance, and it looks like he's here to stay as a dominant force. What do you think? Let us know in the comments below.